I once dated a guy who had this infuriating habit of arguing with me in public. He would take our personal situations, our drama, and air it out for everyone to see. He would argue with me in front of our friends, in front of his family, once at a restaurant. I remember being at Walmart and he started some drama. The thing is, I liked him a lot and we had great chemistry, and the brother was so fine. But that was a showstopper for me, taking our personal business and airing it out for everyone to see. I warned him more than once, but that's who he was, and the relationship didn't last. Today, we are talking about keeping conflict in the kitchen. Restaurants pride themselves in an exquisite dining experience. This is everything from the way they plate a meal to the atmosphere to attentive service. And they will do all of this regardless of what is going on in the kitchen. What could be going on in the kitchen is they're busy, they're crazy busy with multiple parties or a culinary mix up. An order is sent back because it's undercooked. Or everybody wants to customize their dishes. They're keto, they're vegetarian, they're vegan. Maybe there's a heated argument going on between chefs. The kitchen could be on fire. But what the guests experience, if the restaurant is doing their job, is a delicious dish, attentive service, and an overall fine dining experience because the restaurant was able to keep chaos, conflict, and fire in the kitchen. Imagine dining solo in a restaurant. It's around 3 p.m., long after the lunch rush and before dinner. And you overhear a conversation between employees. They are complaining about a staff shortage, talking about the table of 8 during lunch that left a 10% tip. And they're talking about the fact that they're so busy during the rush time that they don't have time to go to the bathroom. Hearing all of this conversation might shape your opinion of the restaurant. Conflict happens. Conflict is natural, it's healthy, it is necessary. But conflict belongs in the kitchen. There are 4 questions you need to ask yourself when it comes to workplace conflict. 4 questions about keeping conflict in the kitchen. Where is the dining room? Is the dining room the lobby, employee work areas? Is it anything outside of the brick and mortar? What about email communication and social media? The dining room is where presentation matters, where conflict and chaos can't enter. What conversations are we having right now that need to be moved out of the dining room and into the kitchen? Be honest, open, and transparent with yourself. And then be intentional about moving conversations out of the dining room and back to the kitchen table. Who's in the kitchen with me? Who should be in the kitchen with you? Are the people that you're talking to the conflict about or you're actively involved in conflict with, are those the people in the kitchen? Or do you have other departments or coworkers that are not part of the conflict or people in the break room? No one who isn't part of the conflict should be in the kitchen with you. Finally, what's the impact on your culture of having private kitchen conversations in the very public dining room? Could you be sparking gossip and rumors, inciting fear, hurting morale? Merely thinking about the impact of having confidential conversations out in the open is often enough to motivate people to move conversations out of the dining room and back to the kitchen. Conflict belongs here, behind the scenes. Behind the scenes, you can show the dirty. You can be humble, open, transparent. You can throw dishes. You can say what needs to be said. But once you are out of the kitchen, you're in front of clients or other departments or coworkers and employees who are just not part of the conversation. When you get out of that area, it's got to be clean. You have to be discreet. You have to be professional. I want you to take the 4 questions I've given you and use them as a measuring stick to let you know that, okay, this conversation has gone out of the kitchen and it's in the dining room. I need to move it back. Have the courage to say, I want to talk to you about this, but this is not the time or the place. Go ahead and stop any gossip, any rumors, any conversations that should not be in the dining room and move those conversations back to the kitchen. Sometimes we have to speak up and say, I'm not comfortable having this discussion here or now or without the parties directly involved in the conflict. Conflict has to stay in the kitchen. We don't want that mess. We don't want to infect our culture. We don't want to lose good people, and we don't want to harm our reputation. So keep conflict in the kitchen.